All right.
Hey, good evening. You're welcome to Opinion Sharers. My name is Paul. It's been a while. It's because I traveled and we've all been busy. I guess the Nigeria has happened to many of us, and the world has also happened to us in different forms. So that's why we've been away for this long. We apologize, but we are back. So please, if you can see this, please, we implore you to please share. Please share. Let's invite other people. We will be talking about Russia and Ukraine. We'll be looking at the implication of it for the world. So please, if you're in a position to
Send the link.
share, please help us share.
Kindly
Okay, I
send the
will
link.
share. All right, I will. So if you are in a position to share, please do help us share the link. I'm going to quickly go to the Facebook now to look for the link and be able to share with. Uh, okay, got the link and sharing it with you. Doesn't do you have the link? It doesn't there even. Okay, Village Boy, you can check. I've shared the link in the Opinion Sharers group.
Yeah, I've seen that.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Okay, so we are going to be talking about Russia today, and we will talk briefly about the fuel scarcity in Nigeria. I guess Nigeria has already begun to happen to Michael. He was there with us a few seconds ago, and now he's gone. He briefly mentioned there's no light, there's no electricity in Nigeria. So I don't think that's what has happened to him now. But then let's hope he will join us because I would like for him to give us an update regarding that. And perhaps Tosin would also give us an update as per our brothers and sisters in the UAE regarding the work permit. So, but mainly today we'll be talking about Russia and how it affects us. I think because we Africans that are traveling, I think this subject even become more important. You know, having seen some of the things that has happened to people, some of our brothers or travelers or diasporans from different countries who have been impacted by this war, or should I say invasion. You know, so I saw a tweet that really touched my heart during the week. Somebody said, people left their country, they gathered everything to go and study abroad. And we know how it is in Nigeria. Some people probably sell their land. Some parents probably sell their properties to be able to gather some money for their family members or for their children. And then somewhere along the line, there is war. And then no certificate, nothing. You have to be evacuated. So I've been trying to think about it since 2 days ago. So it's one of the reasons, one of the angles that I want us to look at this issue. So let's introduce ourselves because we have been away for a while. So I'm going to start with the village boy.
Thank you very much. Maybe I should do a bit more detailed opinion today. I am Dr. Bolu Oluwadele. I am a fellow of International Institute of African Scholars, general accountant, and a public analyst, policy analyst, right?
All right. Thank you very much, Tosin.
Hi, friends. Welcome to the show again this week. My name is Citizen. I am Citizen Oluwatosin. I'm a citizen of Nigeria and a proud one. And the
Okay.
issue of Nigeria generally is my cup of tea.
Okay. The man whose Nigeria's business is his cup of tea. Michael.
Okay, good evening, viewers, and bringing you greetings from Nigeria, irrespective of what is happening to us at the moment. I'm Michael Olaogun by name. I'm just a young Nigerian rather, who aspires to make Nigeria a great nation. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, thank you, thank you. So thank you for those who are joining us afresh. My name is Paul, and Opinion Sharer is a platform that's deliberately created to give voice to everyday people who ordinarily would not have a platform on the conventional media. So this is like the second choice, or it's like the alternative voice for those of us who like to be heard. So if you want to join the conversation, please do feel free. If you want to join this conversation today, please do drop a comment in the comment section. You can participate like that, and then we can even take it further. So we'll be talking about Russia today. Russia and Russia's invasion of Ukraine. I've noticed that a few countries have been having difficulty calling it an invasion. Some people don't even refer it as war. And, it's understandable because of their diplomacy and whatever that may be involved. So I'm going to be asking the question today and perhaps, lending out my voice as for to the issue. I'm going to ask the village boy to give us an intro. As usual, I guess it should be getting used to that now. When you tune into
All
the
right, thank you
media
very much.
today or you go on social media, wait first. Now let me give you some background just for a few seconds. So when you look at what's happening, you hear war, you hear of humanitarian crisis, you hear refugee in Europe. All right. So the question to Village Boy is, what comes to mind when you see all of this on the media into 2022?
Well, thank you very much. I think there are various dimensions to this. First, the fundamental is like there is an escalation of hostility between Russia and Ukraine, and underneath that hostility is the resentment of Russia for Ukraine to join NATO, not at the Atlantic Territorial Organization, who kind of alternative power force. And there is a background to that too. Uh, for the purpose of history, there was a time that because of the communism naming of Cuba, that the then USSR wanted to establish a military base in Cuba, and America seriously resisted that and all that. So it is the same thing that Russia is afraid of. That okay, the moment uh, Ukraine joined NATO, the NATO member organization will have every right to establish a military base in Ukraine. And of course, there was a promise by NATO trying to dissuade Ukraine from pursuing a nuclear power, some years ago, and the condition that okay, they will grant them a membership of NATO, and therefore their interest, their military interest, will be protected. So, but Russia, the neighbor to Ukraine, is intently afraid of that and will not want that to happen. So the best thing is like I think he's using the term we use in football that the best defense is to attack. So I think that is what has led to this escalation of hostility. Of course, the collateral damages there is like in any war situation, human beings suffer. suffer rather. So, and we have seen a kind of the situation of people panicking and trying to remove to go to move away from the zone of the hostility, as it were. And in that case, that is where the issue of many African students and residents came to play. And for us, that is a major concern. We have seen has happened. And on that note, you can even say that this war is not for Africans. Africans is a war that we should we are supposed to be complete outsiders. I mean, unfortunately, our people are caught in the crossfire. So let me pause there.
All right. Thank you very much, sir. For those who are joining us afresh, we want to say thank you for joining us. Thank you for tuning in from wherever you are tuning in. We'll be looking at the issue of Russia versus Ukraine. That is, I am glad to call it that Russia's invasion of Ukraine. That's my own personal opinion. And, besides opinion sharers. So, my next question will go to Michael. And to be sincere, this is just my own perception. I was shocked when I heard about this. I've been hearing, okay, Russia was staging their military men at the border. So I was thinking maybe just a threat. Okay, I didn't know they were actually going to go ahead with it. They proved CIA, right. So Michael, I want to ask you: were you surprised when you hear about this? Michael is someone that is passionate about international politics and international discussions like this. So please give us your view.
Yeah, thank you for this opportunity. The village boy already provided historical perspective to this discussion. But I would love to actually lay emphasis on the personality of Vladimir Putin, that's the president of Russia. And looking at history, this is a man that has been in charge of the affairs, or rather, that has been within the corridor of power for over 2 decades. At least I grew up knowing Vladimir Putin as the president or the prime minister of Russia. At one time or the other, he served as the prime minister. At another time, he became the president. Now is the president again. Putin is such a personality that in international politics, most especially as it relates to issue of defense and international, I mean territorial. Should I say? I'm looking for the right description to suit the purpose of this discussion. Uh, Let me use the word territorial threat. I think that best describe the situation at hand. He's such a person that we cannot just say Putin go and sit down there, because this is someone that we need to actually take time to examine his body language, his approach to issue. Though uh, for some years now, Russia has never participated in, should I say, invasion of this magnitude. There was a record that Russia once invaded one of the close countries to them some years back. I can't recall now. But what I'm saying in essence is that the personality of Putin in this issue is becoming is something that we should pay close attention to, and perhaps it's also a signal to other Western powers, particularly the members of the G7 nations, that know, irrespective of the power each sovereign state may think they have, or should I say territorial dominance or influence they have across the global space. And I'm talking of America, I'm talking of Germany, I'm talking of France. That there are other elements, there are other forces, or rather, there are other minds that we have across the world that they may not necessarily be coming to the global space. They may not be coming to the public to say, this is who we are, this is what we can do. But Putin said it, is acting it, and of course, the implication of his action on Russia will not be felt alone by Russia or Europe alone. The implication will cut across the world. So, as a person, I haven't studied the body language of Putin, because in politics, the body language of leader is one of the essential things that we must study to actually make forecast. On global or national issues. But Putin never, his action against Russia was never a surprise to me as a person, because historically we have been hearing threats between Russia and America for some times, particularly uh, anytime we have the Democrats in power. I think same thing we had when Obama was a president of US, and now it is a time of Trump. And it calls for a lot of questioning, because my curiosity is, my signal is high at the moment, because we have come to now realize that this issue of global power play is all about selfish interest. And the earlier we realize this, I'm speaking as an African now, the better for us to actually put the right structure in place in defense of our own image, of our own history, of our own history, and of our own future as a continent. How do I mean? The village boy already stated what transpired between Cuba and America when the Soviet Union wanted to establish their base somewhat in Cuba. But we saw the level of hostility that they received from the United States at that particular time. So it's just as if you are telling me that what you don't want someone to do to you is what you are attempting to do to someone. Though lives have been lost, properties damaged, or rather, it is still ongoing, because only God knows when this will stop. But I think it is very essential that we know that in the affairs of international politics, irrespective of whatever all the government, maybe whether US government, the German government, or whatever government may be doing or may be saying, what is of interest to them is, what really matters to them is their own interest. And we have seen this happen in Africa. The way Muammar Gaddafi of Libya was dealt with, all because he resisted the Western forces, because he decided to do things in his own way. I am not saying the incursion of Russia in Ukraine is something we should celebrate. No, because we must respect the sanctity of human life. War only, it is only those who are dead that have seen the end of the world, like a philosopher will say. But what is most important, as I've talked about the issue of Russia having their own space and resisting NATO planting a military base in Ukraine, we should also recognize the fact that these are sovereign states in their own regards. Russia is a sovereign state. America is a sovereign state. Ukraine is a sovereign state. And I feel, irrespective of the pact they may have signed, they can always come to table to say, okay, this is what we have signed, and this is what we want to do at the moment. And that is why, in the global space, at least, for example, in Nigeria, we are talking about constitution review now. Irrespective of whatever agreement that has taken place, there should be room for renegotiation. That, okay, this is what we want to do, because we are hearing that there was a pact between Ukraine and Russia that they would not allow NATO to actually occupy the base, any base, or plant any base close to Russia. But the reverse became the case. So, in a nutshell, I, as a person, putting into consideration the personality of Putin that I've read about over time, I've taken my time to study about him. I'm not surprised that the incursion or the invasion that he is, is melting on the Ukraine at the moment is not a surprise to me. But all I appeal, because as a member of global space, as a global citizen, we can always render opinion. The end should come to this crossfire, and let us go back to negotiation table. Thank you.
Okay, Michael, thank you. Um, I appreciate your position about those. Russia actually invaded Crimea in 2014. All right, so it was not so many years ago, and I don't think I don't excuse them, as long as whatever they can, whatever diplomatic arrangements that may have been between them, And I don't excuse the US for invading Cuba many years ago. But I read about that. That happened in 1961, 62, right? So now I am talking as a 21st century man, and I'm looking at it from the point of view of a social worker. So I might be a little bit biased to the, all these politics that happen at the international level. I'm looking at the humanitarian crisis that is happening. I'm looking at the fact that both Russia and Ukraine are the largest, I mean, one of the largest producer of basic food for some people, like wheat. Wheat is generally eaten across Asia. The people depend on it, you know. So and I learned that Ukraine is one of the highest supplier of uh, of wheat to the world. So
Mm.
the same thing with Russia. So this is how I am looking at it. I'm looking at those Africans who have uh, and Nigerians who have to be evacuated. From where are they going to start now? So, and that's what brought me to this question that I'm going to ask Tosin, especially for those of us living abroad. Um, I wrote on I think on my Facebook, or maybe I saw it somewhere. I put it on my status a few days ago that wherever Africans go to, we remain victims of racism. I learned that even during war, that they were being segregated and separated and saying you cannot cross now until our own white people have crossed. And I have nothing against them because I feel for them. I don't think I mean, I am opposed to whatever it is that Russia is doing and whatever that could kill or lead to killing of human beings anywhere in the world. So, Tosin, I'm going to ask you, what do you think about this? That Africans are continuously being victims, and perhaps I want every one of us to also respond to this same question.
Thank you very much. Mm, we will continue to be victims once our leaders, Africa's leaders, don't think and provide an enabling environment for their citizens. Uh, it is shameful for the kind of racism that is happening in Russia. We sympathize with them, but at the same time, everybody should have access, should have opportunity to run away and so that their life will be safe. I'm not saying that only their citizens can go for now and all that. And there is also the report of students, black and brown, not only even black now, even the brown, that walk barefoot for 14 hours and they get to the border only to be sent back, that they cannot cross the border by barefoot. It is war, and you are saying people cannot cross the border by barefoot, and they need to walk back again another 14 hours to get car to now be able to cross the border. African leaders should. It is just unfortunate that whatever even happened, they don't think. Somebody says cause. I don't know. They don't think. Once our leaders are not providing an enabling environment for our citizens, we will continue to have situations like this. Imagine the amount of millions that were used. I've forgotten the amount now, it's in the news. The amount of millions that were used to evacuate Nigerian students from Ukraine. If such amount is used,
$8.5 million.
8.5 billion, sir.
$8.5 million. That
Million
was what the government
dollars.
budgeted. Yeah.
So if that money is used on our education in Nigeria, imagine I believe a large number of people will stop going abroad. Now ASU is on strike. And now to the saddened part of it is that most of the school they are even going abroad. They are not easily, it is not that they have state-of-the-art facilities. They are just some glorified secondary school like what we have in Nigeria. But the fact that they will not be on strike and a 4-year program will not be turned to 6-year program is making our people to run away. leaders, our leaders are coarse. That is why I don't have respect for them, because see the money they spent now on evacuating them. What is wrong with our educational sector? That same week, the Minister of Education is working out on some students that were asking that the problem should be fixed, and that they want to go back to class. Is working out on them. Uh, Africans generally, our leaders need to wake up. Only our leaders, our citizens too, African citizens too, should start paying much interest to politics and to how they are being governed. They should start asking questions. This is the time each and every African citizen should start asking their leaders questions on how they are being governed. Because it is because of our negligence, because we have turned our back to them. We just feel let them do their things. Sometimes we think they're dangerous, that if we talk, they will come for us. They are dangerous. That is why they do anyhow. They are not dangerous. We should start holding them accountable to the power, to the office we have given them. The more rot, some things like this will continue to happen to us until Nigeria especially take our place. Somebody say Africa will
Okay, Nigeria has happened to him.
I think Dubai is happening to Tosin. Dubai is definitely happening to Tosin there. Anyway,
No,
thank you very much.
I am suspecting that Nigeria traced him to Dubai.
Village people followed him there. Tosin, village people follow you to Dubai this evening.
my internet is really, I don't know.
I beg, go there, do make them upgrade you. Anyway, thank you very much. Village
Maybe
boy.
I will join with my mobile.
Okay. Village boy. Uh, there was a post that I read earlier today about Dr. Sunday Adelaja, who has been in Ukraine for over 35 years. He went to Ukraine to study at the age of 19, and I think he's about 55 years old now. So he has been in Ukraine for about 35 years. Now he's hiding somewhere, you know. And somebody was saying that, where no matter where you go in the world, you would always be a visitor in case something happened, you know. That the person was talking about investing in Africa, and I'm just looking at the implication for Africans, those of us who travel. That includes all of us here on this platform and many of the people that are listening or watching. What's your what do you think? I'm sure that your PhD thesis also studies something relating to racism, to people with our kind of background in Canada. So please give us an insight.
Thank you very much. I want to make a quick correction. I made an error when I was giving me about NATO. It was actually not Atlantic Treaty Organization, not territorial. It's Treaty Organization. Having said that, I also want to recollect that some years immediately we got our independence, I remember one powerful article that Awolowo wrote then about resisting the establishment of then Africa Command in Nigeria by the British government as they were existing in Nigeria. He wrote that, look, that this will undermine our independence. I just want to bring us to our notice. Yeah, coming back to your question. In my book, Thoughts of a Village Boy, I actually addressed this issue in chapter 31. In chapter 31 of Thoughts of a Village Boy, I said a little deep into history of Nigerians in some climes. I permit me to read the paragraph from that. He said, perhaps What we should learn from history as Nigerians, as we transverse the world, is that we can prosper, but we should limit our property acquisition in foreign lands to essentials only. Also, we should learn to not to flaunt our new status in the face of indigenous people. We, in the same vein, should learn to integrate into whatever society we find ourselves, not necessarily by snatching their women. I was responding to South Africa at that time, as we were accused by South Africans, but by becoming responsible members of the community. We can always learn, we can always choose to learn from history, or we repeatedly make a mistake from not learning from it. So, if you grab my book, you will see that in it is. We Africans, we are the victims, most cases, and we can no longer pretend not to understand it. Yes, Adelaide, well established. I read that too, and it's been doing well in Ukraine, as a matter of fact. So the question is like, okay, should they have established something like that back home? The truth is that if Adelaide has established a university in Nigeria today, unless it's constantly coming there, they will mess it up. Many of us are victims of we don't want to live for life. We don't want to live everything that we have in Nigeria. We live our office, we live our investment in Nigeria, but we bought our finger. So it is a double-edged sword.
Village boy, your audio seems far away, or is it me that is hearing double? Michael, is it the same?
Is it better now?
Yes, yes, I think so. Yeah.
So what I'm saying is that it's a double-edged sword. If you want to, if for instance, if Adelaide had established maybe a university or a business, a good business in Nigeria this way, what is the likelihood that they would have not messed up the business? Many of us have experienced that. We have our fingers pumped. We left our business, we left our investment in Nigeria, we mess it up. So, and of course, they will blame you. There are a lot of things in our country who are denying them. So, it is not an easy thing. We cannot really blame him. Honestly, I don't want to blame him. But again, it's still a lesson, like I said. We have to learn that. We have to now take it from what Tosin said. We have to now learn how to keep to keep our leaders accountable. If it is our home, if our home is African, if it is our home, we will not suffer this politics anymore. But so long as we don't fix our home, we will need to suffer this. Here, that's the way I give it down. The the police, when a black man was shot down, uh, 2 weeks ago, and somebody was posting it on a Facebook, lamenting the incidences that happened to the guy, and one lady, and EMS staff, replied that you people should go back to your country, and of course immediately, I think she realized that she put down the post. She deactivated her Facebook account. But trust our guy, he was smart enough. He had already screenshot it, and by now I think the lady must have been fired. Imagine somebody EMS is like those who are in rendering ambulance services to people in sickness. Imagine such a person being invited, into the home of a black person that is sick, and she has to be the one to convey the person to the hospital. What is the likelihood that this person will not even inject the person and kill the person on the way? So, if such a person, a public servant for that matter, can be posted publicly that we should go back to our country. Of course, nobody wants to realize that we also pay taxes, that whatever is happening, whatever development society is having here, we are contributing effectively. So what happened to Sunday Adelaja is pitiable. I listen to his videos. He has to live with only a car, and all the wealth he has built are almost gone in flames. For the process, also he made himself Putin declare him an enemy, personal no granta, so he cannot even go to Russia. So, and he said that was one of those people that have been planned to be eliminated. I'm happy he was able to escape with his life. Heart is worth. So those of us in diaspora, we we don't have so much choice. Sometimes in this matter, we want to be a citizen of where we live. We want to at least enjoy maximum life where we live. Then we want to also, man, you want to think about your home. You want to think about your home country, your motherland. But then the question is like, when you go there and you put something there, of course you will have sleepless nights. People will go there and mess it up. People will cripple, your sweat. People will undermine your this thing. There's no integrity anywhere. What we should, the pressure we should put on the government is what we put on individuals who stick out their necks to put something on ground. Try it. Come on, go and establish business in Nigeria. Even if you put your brother or sister, you will hear story more than profit. So at the end of the day, they will eat everything. They will even call you names. So we have seen those that they turn to mad or whatever. There are so many stories we hear. But I can tell you from my experience, by the time I left Nigeria, I have a business that has close to 7, 8 employees. Today the business is shut down because they mess it up. So you cannot blame Adelaja for putting all his, that somebody was saying, don't put all your egg in one basket. Okay, if he has put his second egg in another basket in Nigeria, what could have happened to it? He cannot guarantee that the business will be there. He may even come back, they may not even allow him to take over his business. They may say, tell him he's a stranger, or somebody has converted. If he's sending money home for somebody to establish for him, somebody can convert that money and use it for himself or herself. So it is very very lamentable that we find ourselves in this kind of tightrope. We don't know what to do. We are confused. Yes, you love your motherland, you want to do something, but there's no guarantee that you will not regret it. So the bottom line, let us put our house in order. All African nations, all African governments, all African people, we have to put our nation, our house in order. And like I said in my second book too, that was about Nigeria, about that if we can fix Nigeria, then we can fix the black man. So maybe we should focus more on fixing Nigeria. If we fix South Africa, there is still no guarantee we fix the black man because South Africa is still a mixture. When you are talking of a pure black country, black nation, maybe we fix Nigeria, we fix Ghana, then we can fix the black man. Until we do that, it's unfortunate, but the hard truth is that we may not be able, we may not eliminate this, or suffer from consequences of racial discrimination. Yes, my study was on diversity, and I saw a lot of was revealed in my study about diversity. So it is more like, that's not even going deep into that because when I was even talking to some people were almost shedding tears, narrating their experiences, what they suffer, in a place that is called itself multicultural environment. So but then the bottom line, Africa, black people, put your house in order. There's no alternative. And like I said, this war is not our war. It's not the black man war. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, sir. You said the war is not a black man's war. Whose war is it then? Maybe we'll get back to that. Um, the question still is the racism that Africans or not just Africans because there were Indians. I learned that my supervisor told me when I was talking to him about my research a few days ago that even died, an Indian student died there. While the government was just running around and making plans for evacuation. Just imagine. I think he went out to buy food and then, he was a victim and he died. So just imagine somebody travel, from one continent to another to study and then, that kind of a thing happened to them. It's just unfortunate. And so we are looking at Africans as being victims of racism wherever we go. It follows us, no matter how. Because when you're talking about Asia, I mean, you're talking about Asia. Somehow I feel like racial, I mean, racial profiling or racism towards Africans in Asia, I feel it is perhaps more than everywhere because everywhere they do it to your face. If I almost if you cannot imagine, I will live to tell the story another day. When I was coming from Abu Dhabi and entering into the airport here, they were actually profiling me just because I have the Nigerian passport in my hand. One of them said to my face, he said, "Do you know what your people are doing in this country?" I said, "So because you are even telling me that, me who is a social work student, you are telling me that. You are telling me that you are deliberately profiling me just because of your stereotype about my country or people from my country. These are people who are supposed to be educated, but it's unfortunate. And it's also the reason why it's cutting. I mean, a lot of media houses have been talking about it. Is perhaps it happened even in the almighty Europe. you know. So, Michael, what's your opinion regarding this? And Michael is in Nigeria now. The fact that it's not even difficult. I mean, it's not even easy for somebody to say you want to come and invest in Nigeria or in Africa, and be sure that your investment will be protected also. So you're not safe where you are. I mean, it's not because you don't really. I feel like I don't expect that this kind of bombardment is going to be happening in 2022 in Europe. Anyway, Michael.
Yeah, thank you so much. I follow the village boys' comments very closely, and of course, it is something that's cause for serious worry. Before I answer the question about racial sentiments or whatever, I think the we
Uh, uh,
humanity is because how will I sit as a rational human being and want to actually do away or manipulate things, I mean, that my fellow human being has worked for, laying claim to it as my own. There was a practical example I had of in my maternal hometown sometimes ago. There's this man who lives in the UK, and of course, having an elder sister back home there. And I learned, according to the report, that this woman okay, this man was, but unfortunately, the house he was building, according to design, it was somebody else's property that the person in question will always snap and send to him abroad. So by the time he got back home, he discovered that it wasn't what he bargained for that he got. And at the end of the day, he just ended up dashing the woman one property like that. And another one that really happened that I know of again, there was a particular man sending money to somebody. To him, he wanted to actually build a property for the person. He has been a long-term friend, but he now said, okay, I will use this house to him as a surprise. So he was sending money to him. And of course, the man was giving report of the progress report of the work being done on site. And by the time he got back home, just to assess, okay, the building, and surprisingly, all the materials in the house, the materials they used in building the house, they were substandard materials. And even if you
Village people has come. Oh.
knock the wall, like imagine that. And at the end of the day, the man said, of course, there is no cause for alarm, no cause for worry. I actually had the intention of building the house for you. He now told the man that, okay, you have been my friend for years, and I thought it well to actually repay you for something you did for me when we were in secondary school. And he now said, this property belongs to you. So he handed over the key of the house and everything to him, and the man busted. He started crying that, like Yoruba will say, "Mufowa Rami Sherami." So where ordinarily he was supposed to use like maybe 1 bag or 2 bags of cement, he will ration it, use half bag, and at the end of the day, the house collapsed. There is this culture of inhuman nature that is overriding the human nature in us, and it is becoming a trend, and that may lead to the end of the world. Permit me to use that word. I'm not a prophet of doom, but you can't just trust someone so easily like that. I have had some series of experience in the last 2 years, and before I can trust anybody now, so it's very difficult because I rather just allow my things to be there than for me to say I want to trust someone to do something for me, because they will make rubbish of whatever effort you are making. So we cannot really blame Pastor Adelaja for not coming home. And of course, investing at home is a problem because the economy, the currency is bad, everything is weak. So imagine how destabilized the whole things will be. So no, it be we should not just condemn or talk about that at all. However, I really don't go far to Europe, about African Europe racial sentiment. No, even back in the house in our own Nigeria here, you will see an Igbo man telling you that I don't want to have any business with a Yoruba man. What do we call that? You will see in an office how will somebody head a department of government, and 80% of people within that employed within that office or within that department or within that MDA, they will be from your own ethnic extraction. What do we call that? Ethnic profiling. A Yoruba man will tell you, I don't want to have any business with an Hausa man. What do we call that? I think we are losing the sense of human dignity for something that are really irrelevant. So to say, I think what really matters, irrespective of my coloration, irrespective of my racial affiliation, respect in me the human dignity first before, or regardless of any other factor. So, and I think it is becoming a social problem, not about Europe against Africa alone. The ones we are doing against ourselves at home is even very terrible. You see somebody, from a part of a country will tell you that I don't want to have anything to do with the Kikuyus, for example, in Kenya. So it's plank in it. Let us remove the plank in our own eyes before we consider removing the speck in another person's eyes. However, this is not to justify the fact that what is happening there, what is happening out there, being done against our brothers, our black brothers, is something that we should also vehemently condemn. It is not. It is inhuman. It is ungodly. And sorry, I'm sounding a little religious now, but it's something we should all speak against. However, I would love to round up my comment by saying, till the end of the world is going to continue. It has been like that in the Bible days because just like a portion of the Bible says that who plants now? In Christ there is no Paul, there is no Apollos. When we look at that statement logically, it's a statement of looking at it as human being now. That particular Bible passage was trying to address the issue of discrimination. Don't say to me I belong to Paul. Don't say to me I belong to Apollos. If Christ came, being an Arab, being an Asian, being an African, being an European, being an American should not be a factor. Again, I will say racial sentiment, ethnic profiling, and all sorts will continue until the world ends. Thank you.
Okay, Michael, thank you very much. I agree with you that racial sentiment and racism has been with us all the while, and it is also true that it is prevalent among us, even as Africans. Very, very prevalent. I want to ask Tosin, because Tosin also is in the UAE, where you get to live among many, many people. What does this teach us as diasporans? As you see, even in a war situation, you are still being discriminated against. What does this teach us, Tosin, as Africans?
Okay, can you hear me?
Financial global money transfer.
You can hear some other. Where is the?
I
There's a
don't know.
voice that's coming from somewhere. Okay, go ahead.
Okay, can you hear me? Okay.
Yes, yes.
What has this taught us as Africans? This has taught us to. I don't know. I would have loved to comment on the Pastor Sunday Adelaja. I'm a very good
Yeah,
friend.
comment now.
I'm surprised because they have he has lived this life some few years now to be a watchdog over the Nigerian church and pastors, and they look like their doctrine or their caucus is the best, and they have some of this their best caucus in Nigeria too. So this their best caucus they have should have helped him to manage some business in Nigeria if he had one, and maybe he will not have problem in business with their best caucus because they are saints, they are angels, they know everything, and they are perfect in their ways. And not that I don't sympathize with him. I saw his videos, though the videos I saw his videos, but that video to me, I saw it on Punch, and I make some like 3 comments on it too. But that videos to me looked like a skit. The first point that makes it look like a skit is that it follows the Facebook standard of a video you can monetize 3 minutes. So, so that makes it look like a skit to me. And in the video, mentioning where other people are hiding in the bunker in your house. Come on, everybody, you are there running for your life, and you are exposing other people. I don't know. They are in this business before me of criticism. So if I criticize him also, I don't know. I don't think I'm at fault. So he should have let where other people are hiding to the secrets, not exposing them because they're in a bunker and they are in his house and he's on the run.
Rosie, you have never been in a war situation before, so you don't have an idea. You don't have a clue what it means.
Okay.
You don't have a clue how it feels to express yourself. I saw your comments now, but
Okay.
I know that this is still your comment, just still commenting on Adelaja, just attack. Like Russia is attacking Ukraine. That's just it.
And I say it's on the list, is that, it's fine. But we understand that Nigeria is not a good place to invest for now. The business lifespan of Nigeria is 5 years. But at the same time, almost every year I see the update of Pastor Sunday Adelaja that he wants to open business in Nigeria. Almost every year I see that. And till now, I'm surprised that nothing is done in Nigeria. I don't know. So talking about we as Africans, what lessons should we learn from this? The lesson is the lesson is not far-fetched from my contribution the other time before my internet messed up. As Africans, we should look more on the home, because no matter how much we pretend to be these people, we cannot be like them. No matter how, I believe Pastor Sunday even speak their language. And some of these students that were sent back from the border, they even speak the language. But no matter how you want to be like them, you cannot be. You cannot be. It got to a point they were telling Obama, go to Kenya. Even the president. So no matter how you want to be like them, you cannot be like them. So we should remember our roots. That is why some years ago, some blacks the West, they say it's a year of return, and they return massively to Ghana. They returned massively in Ghana, and some of them didn't go back. They stayed there. So we should always find our roots, which is wherever we come from, and especially our language. We should teach our children the language. They will, however, understand English when they go to school. Our language, we should imbibe in them. They should know how to speak it. Apart from that, then we should pay interest to our home, which is Africa and our individual countries. We should not, because we are enjoying the life of abroad, then forget our home. Because one day will come, then everybody have to go back and bear his father's name.
Are you willing
And
to
that
pay
is,
tax in Nigeria?
if I have business there, yes. If I have
No, as in,
business
as you
there,
are working, if you are working in UAE now, pay tax in Nigeria.
see, if Nigerian government will put in place amenities that warrant me to pay tax in Nigeria, I will pay that.
They need money to
One
put those amenities. So
one of
they
the
need your
things,
money
I'm coming,
first.
I'm coming, I'm coming. One of the things, I understand your point. Now, one of the things is that if I'm paying tax, am I not paying tax? I'm here. Am I not paying tax? The remittance of Nigerians abroad alone is more than what Nigerian government generates from their highest revenue. That's the oil. So I'm paying
Yes,
tax. Now I'm
we
coming.
pay to our families. We pay
We
directly to
pay.
our families. This
Okay, we
one
send
pay
money
to
back home.
government.
Yes. Now, if I will pay tax, then I should be able to pick who will lead my country. I have friends here from other countries that pay tax back home in their country. But in their, whenever it is a general election in their country, they can go to the embassy, even here, to cast their vote. Can I vote for somebody from here? No. So see, it is enough of people saying what they can do for the government. We have given the government so much. It should be the government doing for us. You say they need money to put things in place. They have the resources already. If they don't have the resources, it is because they cannot think. They have the resources already. If they cannot come on to identify all Nigerians, they cannot do that. So how can they tax us? How can they tax us if they cannot even identify each and every Nigerian? We are not well documented. How can they tax us? So much is given to them. I'm ready to pay tax when they are responsible to their responsibility. When I can from here cast my vote and pick who will lead my country. Not that I will just be sending money to people that will use the money to jamboree.
Who will use your money to eat arroz for me?
Well, Buhari doesn't eat so much. He just they will use it to buy Gucci shoe for him.
No. No.
Well, if you don't want to send it as tax, of course, we are home. We are struggling with fuel now. At least I can add whatever you sent to what I have to buy petrol. So you are still doing me favor, and of course, doing that indirectly, I will still pay tax.
Yeah, I was thinking that we'll talk about the petrol situation in Nigeria. But I have this sort of a philosophical question for Village Boy. And then after Tosin, maybe you prepare to give us an update on what is happening in the UAE. The question that I want to ask the Village Boy is this, and then maybe Michael also would like to answer it or ask another question. Um, you know, I was thinking that human beings have come a long way, that we have become more civilized. All right. And especially when I hear people thinking about ritual killings in Africa, this is how I feel about it. That, people still killing and thinking that if I kill somebody and put his blood on some concussion, I can make money. Okay. This is 21st century. Now, looking at Russia, thinking, just easily carrying bomb and all of it. It's to me, even though it is a war, but I was thinking, have we not past that level? You know, village boy, maybe I am naive, okay? If I'm naive, or maybe I'm thinking too simplistically, please educate me. Have we not passed that level of killing fellow human beings, carrying rockets? You know, because and meanwhile, sometimes ago, I was just thinking about the amount that the most powerful countries spend on military alone. And I keep wondering, this money alone can fix majority of the social problems that we have around the world. You know. Anyway, village boy.
Okay, thank you very much. I can understand your thinking as a social worker, but you also know fundamentally that we say to achieve peace, sometimes you have to fight war. So peace and war they go hands to hand, they go hand together, and then they go hand together. And you know that why does every country uh, vote huge amount of money for defense? Defense budget is very big in every country. So first, okay, you want to protect your territorial integrity, you want to secure your people and your property. Of course, there is always one thing about humans. Somebody maybe will be greedy, somebody will be unreasonable, somebody will have inordinate ambition. All these are human psychologies that happen. Somebody will want to take advantage of you. It's like a natural tendency if you want to be very realistic. So if I am let me cast you to the to Sebudaya and Ovleria. There was a joke that Ovleria was reporting to Sebudaya that somebody bought her some underwear pants. We call it pants in Nigeria, some underwear. And so that was asking, so okay, if a man buy you underwear, so would the man not want to see how it fits you someday, somehow? So if you are putting a lot of money on defense, so what do we want? What do we intend to achieve with it? Is it not that we are thinking that okay, someday we are going to fight? Someday somebody will want to encroach us and we want to do this thing. Look, and when you look at civilization, it has nothing to do with war or no war. In history, Europeans fought more wars than any other continent. Yeah, today is European. I will tell you that they are the most civilized. Did you see some of the clip that has been going around, where somebody was wondering why should this thing be happening? That Ukraine is relatively civilized, relatively European, so they are not supposed to fight. So because Europeans are more civilized, but the fact of history is that Europe has fought more wars than any other continent. You know what stopped war in Europe? It is in 1884 when they started colonizing us. They literally balkanized everybody and share Africa among themselves. That is when they stopped war. They stopped fighting because they find the new toys to play with. They turn us to toys and play with our emotion. And when they come, of course they imposed on us. They told us everything about us was barbaric, was uncivilized, and we accepted that. So what is civilization? When you even study the history of civilization, it goes hand in hand with war. So we are talking of jihad terrorism today, jihadism or whatever. We had it before in Europe as crusader. Of course, it always have a religious undertone. There's nothing uncivilized about war. People always fight because somebody wants to take advantage of another person. I think it is innate human for us to want to take advantage of some people. So, and also you have the power to resist the other people trying to invade you, so your space. So I'm not sure until if you are a Christian, you believe in the second coming of Christ. Even Christ said that war there will still be war before he comes. So there will always be war. Forget about civilization. That's nothing to do with civilization. Then the other issue which you mentioned, which is a whole topic on its own, the ritual killings, especially among the youth. It has even got into a very ridiculous amount. ridiculous situation. What is a 17-year-old looking for in life that he has to go and kill somebody to make money? Which money? What does he want to do with money at 17? At 17, there is nothing to say that you are a failure. You cannot be categorized as a failure at 17. You cannot even be categorized so much a failure at 25. So now of course we have in Hollywood, we have a film section that is propagating this thing, telling people that okay, you can do this and do this, and you think that these people are, because we are not having sound education again, they are taking all this literally. And of course, we have some charlatans who call themselves, who say they can make somebody rich. But a man living in a hut in the thick of the bush want to make you a billionaire. Why don't you ask him? So you don't like money. The man doesn't like money. He will want to live in the bush battling with mosquito every night. So he's satisfied with that kind of terrible life, but he can make you a billionaire that will be like Dangote. Look, it is all foolishness. It is all foolishness, and it is like the lawyer will say, it is a contributing negligence. The government, society is failing. We live a communal life whereby we watch over each other. In those days, when you steal in the community, the shame is not only for you, it's for your entire family. There are some people who have to relocate to another community because somebody in their family stole and was sent to jail. When you send somebody to prison in those days, the person will not come back to his former community. He will go elsewhere. And each time people see that, you do know that guy is a prison returnee. Don't do anything with him. Even if he has stayed, nobody wants to hear that he has stayed. So I think we lost our values, we lost our moral values. That is why all these things are becoming rampant. And it's fake. It is all fake. It is the love of money. We move from, I used to say, everybody wants money without work. No, you must sweat. And it's because of the one we call renter mentality, which is also considered by government. Before we discover oil, each region had something, they till the ground. We have cocoa in the west, you have the granite in the north, you have the oil palm in the east. And in the Midwest, you have, what do you call it? They have their own kind of, the one, this they used to make tire. Forgotten the name, rubber plantation. So then we abandon all those things for the renter. We are not even the one producing the oil anyway. Nigeria is not, it's not, I keep on saying it, Nigeria is not an oil producing state. That is why we have fair crisis every time. That is why you can say, okay, they imported bad fuel. That is why people now will now be using fuel not to be sleeping at home. Say they are the police say, why they are lodging in the hotel. So see, our problems are fundamentals, but our problems are not things that human beings cannot solve. It's not as we don't have the intelligence to solve this problem, because we have become lazy because of renter mentality. We have stopped being creative. We want immediate results. So that all this has nothing to do with civilization. All this has to do with looking inwards and bringing the best out of us. We are endowed. We have a capability to resolve our problems. And I can keep on saying, our education has to change. Our education has to focus on problem solving. Today, everybody must have certificate, maybe including myself. I have this BSc, MSc, whatever you want to say. You have EFCC, ICPC, whatever title you want to have. But what are we bringing? Which problem are we solving? When our education cannot solve our immediate problem, if I keep on using an example, if Mama Risi pepper grinder has been waking up with that noise for 50-something years, I'm over 50. I've been hearing that noise for over 50 years, and the noise is still there. And something that the technical school student should be able to fix has not been fixed. If a professor of mechanical engineer or whatever has a breakdown with his vehicle and he has to go and call roadside mechanic to fix it for him. What education are we having? Forget about civilization. War is part of civilization. So your social worker thinking is in the extreme. In fact, social work become become common because people know that there will always be crisis, and war is one of them. Brace up that reality. You are a social worker because you are supposed to address crisis. And if there is no, what is the peak of crisis? Is like is the geo of crisis? Of crisis is war, and that is what you as a social worker are supposed to be addressing. Don't feel bad about that. It's war. There will always be war. I'm sorry, I'm not an apostle of doom. Thank you.
Oh, okay. Thank
All
you,
right.
the village boy. Sorry, my Nigeria is happening where I am at the moment. So before it gets so dark that the audience will not be able to see.
Yeah, I was going to ask you to tell us about the fuel situation. If it was
Yeah.
not, if the fuel situation has not happened in Nigeria before this crisis, they would have said it is because of Ukraine and the Russia crisis. So what's happening?
Okay. Just permit me before I delve into that to say one or two things about just in addendum to what the village boy said. There is a philosophy that says the world is about the rise and the fall of empires. And when we look at all of these statements, this school of thought, we have seen it happen over time. I mean, nations rising, nations falling, individuals rising, individuals falling. It is Putin today, tomorrow it will be someone else. It is America today, the power will shift to another place sometimes. And this really don't happen ordinarily. The Third World War, the First World War, the Second World War that happened, it was just about a power rivalry, power contestation. So, and it will continue to happen as far as the world exists. I'm not a prophet of doom. I'm a Christian. I believe in the Bible, but we can see all of this traceable to the Bible as well. And speaking about the nature of man, the Bible made us understand that Adam and Eve gave birth to two sons. That's Cain and Abel. But you ask yourself, just two boys, what level of hostility would have entered into one? The whole world is there for all of us to occupy. But why will I just choose to kill my brother? Because I felt like God accepted his offering and rejected my own. Then what a rational human being should have thought it to a next time that okay, by the time I'm presenting my next offering to God, I will ensure that no, it's not something that is selfish that I will present unto God. So it is an innate nature of man to be wicked, to be cruel, to be unkind. It has nothing to do with cultural affiliation. It has nothing to do with religious affiliation. It is just the nature of man. And as far as the world exists, it will continue. And it will become so worse or terrible when such individuals now take possession of power. They will want to go to any length to ensure that they cause a social disruption. And just as we are seeing today. And just permit me to chip in something about this issue of money rituals of a thing. It's a shameful thing that people who are below my generation are above my generation is a lifestyle that they have embraced, and it's alarming. I used to be saying something. People think that is a cause, but I is a statement that I believe in so much, and I hold no anybody apology for making that position. You know, there's a saying, at least you can recall back home, sir, Mr. Paul, that they will be praying. Our parents used to pray that way alone, or something like that. But it's not a prayer that will just be answered by mere expression. It is either it will be answered as a result of the do's and don'ts that you actually should I say the do's and don'ts of your hand. You can't imagine somebody who is engaging in illicit, illegal, ungodly pattern of life and say that such person will not die young. It's not possible. If such person will ot forward a faiku. Your father and your mother, they have worked for 35 years. Even the car they cannot buy together, put their salary for 35 years together. Your father and your mother, you want to buy it in a day. And out of curiosity, I've taken time to listen to a man who I mean that I regard as a scholar. They call the man Arabawo, or I don't know. It's something Elebuibon. He lives in Oshobo. This is a man that I've stumbled on his video addressing this issue over and over again. He's a core traditionalist and a moralist, and he gave a perception to this. Some may be surprised that I be listening to some of, I mean, an individual as such. Wisdom is not limited to your own religion alone. We need to actually gather knowledge from across board so that we have informed decisions. So I'm saying this for the benefit of those that may be saying that this boy is a Christian. Yes, I am. So I
You don't need
listened to
to
the man.
defend yourself now. Just
Oh, no,
speak.
no, no, no. I need to, people can be
No, allow
sometimes.
him. It's in Nigeria.
What do you say?
I said they should allow you. You are in Nigeria. Before tomorrow
Uh-huh.
is time, before they accuse you of
Yes,
heresy
yes,
tomorrow.
yes. I took time to listen to this man. These are people that actually practice the tradition. They believe in what you call Ifa. But this man demystified the I mean this issue of money ritual. There's nothing like that. And I think you once shared a video on Opinion Sharers platform talking about all of this. You can't just imagine somebody, you are not embracing your palm to work and you expect destiny to favor you. It doesn't really work. You just have to sit down and ask yourself critical questions as a young person. And that is why we are seeing many mad people around the world today. I mean, around the society today. All of these things, they have spiritual implication. Yes, you may believe that, yes, it is because of so and so thing that you have done that is bringing money to you. But at the same time, be ready for the negative implication of such action, because such will never go unpunished, or such will never go unrewarded. And when I use reward here now, I'm talking on the context of negative reward. You will definitely get it anything of sort, because life itself is sacrosanct, is delicate, is a is I mean is spiritual, and you don't expect taking life out of one and not expect the negative implication. Having said that, let us go back to the business of fuel scarcity in Nigeria. And I think my position may not be totally correct, but I
I
believe
thought
I
you
won't be.
I thought you had forgotten about that.
No, 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 I haven't,
Oh yeah, oh
and I
yeah,
won't
sharp,
be,
sharp, 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 sharp.
and I won't be
We are going to
entirely
close
wrong
soon.
to actually say that Nigerians, I won't be surprised if this become our lifestyle. Kate, and if we can get it, irrespective of whether it is expensive or not. I'm tired of this suffering. Good, nobody wants to suffer, but I see all of these as a game, and I'm saying this because of the body language of government. I think around January, we saw the minister of finance saying that they want to increase, they want to remove fuel subsidy. And the National Assembly, I remember the Senate President Ahmed Lawan gave a position that this is not the best time to actually do that. I'm not saying that is what federal government intends to do, but this is Nigeria. Anything can happen. And coupled with the fact that the oil marketers, petrol marketers, their own factors also are there. Because you see somebody telling you that the importation, the landing cost, and all of this is even more than the amount that they are selling the PMS the pump price of the PMS. Whereas somebody will tell you that what happened to Bovas filling station that is providing this for us even a little lower than the standard of government. So a lot of these are happening, but I can tell you for it, as we equally cannot remove the political undertone to this as we approach 2023 general elections. All of these, let us expect more of these, and I'm 70% certain, if not 80, that Nigerians, if they say okay, with this issue should continue, our resolve may be that provided we can get this petrol, let us continue to buy, even if it is 400 naira per liter. At the end of the day, cash atirira no kamajiya. But whether we like it or not, if the right things are not done as we approach 2023 general elections, if we are not very critical about the choice of our leaders, remember President Muhammadu Buhari is the Minister of Petroleum Resources. That is alone symbolic. So if we are not very critical about the choice of our leaders, if we are not very objective, if we allow ethnic, religious, political party affiliation, all of these sentiments to override the place of critical thinking, let us forget about it. Nigerians will continue to be under a situation like this. I rest my case. Thank you.
Okay, Michael, thank you. Let's. I want us to go soon. It's 1 hour 20 minutes already. Tosin, would you please give us an update regarding our people in Dubai or UAE generally?
Yeah, thank you. The I don't know if there's any. The update is that the government back home in Nigeria seems not to be aware of the problem we're having in UAE. In this last week, in this last week, the Minister of Foreign Affairs and the Minister of Labor has been interviewed on Channels TV, and they were there for a different purpose actually, but we we have our hands in channels already, so we forward our audits here to the studio, to the producers of those programs, and they were asked a question about that, and what they are saying is it's further established our claims that the consular here and the ambassador here, they are not representing us well, and that they have not been given the right information to their principals in Nigeria. And to this length, some 2 weeks ago, on Monday, we were initially supposed to meet with the ambassador, but as God will have it, we are planning to meet with the consular the following week. But as God will have it, they brought her for that meeting because they knows that the people coming are stronger. So they brought her in. So we found out there. And on that day, we gave them 14 days ultimatum to fix the problem. The work permit issue we are having in UAE, we give them 14 days. And the 14th day will be on the 7th of this month, March. And it was a very heated conversation between us and the consular general, and she challenged us because we told her if you don't fix the problem, we will remove you from office. And she challenged us, and we are to everyone that is watching now, every Nigerian in UAE and every Nigerian in Nigeria that is watching us, we have been, probably they don't know the problem I'm talking about. Nigerians living in Dubai, UAE, have been having problem of work permit from June 28th of June 2021, and the problem persists till today. And for a good 8 months now, people have been lost in their job. People lost their job. People cannot provide again for themselves. People have to be borrowing money from Nigeria to renew their visa, to pay for their house rent. People cannot take care of the families again and all that. So, and in all this, we have a consular here, we have our ambassador here who are not representing us well, who don't understand the situation of things, who don't have much information about how things work in UAE. They seem to have power, but they don't know the value of the power. They don't even know they have power. So they keep asking us to bring document upon document of people that were affected, and we keep giving them this document, but they are not doing anything. We're in communication with some ministers. I don't want to say in specific now. Some ministers in Nigeria, and we understand that whichever document we are giving to them, they are not relating that to Nigeria. So we have given them 14 days ultimatum to remove them, to call for their recall, to be sent back home. Because if this issue persists, at the end of the day, every Nigerian and UAE are going to lose their job. And if we are not here, then why should they be here? Because Nigerians are in UAE, that's why the government sent them here also to be an ambassador and to be a consular. If no Nigerian is here, they will not be here. So before we will go back, we want to send them back. So every Nigerian that is watching, please, very soon we'll be calling up to you as citizens of Nigeria to perform your your responsibility as citizens to remove the consular and the ambassador. We are going to do this from on the 7th of this month if the issue of work permit is not fixed. Because till now, the issue persists. There's no update, nothing. The issue remains. And as a matter of fact, from 2 days ago, before now, October 2021, renewal started going for Nigerians for all female and male first and second categories, the work permit, first and second category. But the news we had some 2 days ago from a person that is directly affected, renewal did not go for her. It's a lady and she couldn't get a work permit renewed. So that means the issue is affecting everybody. So the issue is so crazy, and till now I keep asking myself, what is it to this issue that cannot be resolved for a good 8 months? And the last 2 weeks Monday, I said we met with the ambassador. We raised the issue because our teams are working around the clock to understand this situation, because if you want to solve a problem, you must understand the problem. Now, one of our research is that Nigeria okay. One of the research we make is that Nigeria does not have a standing bilateral agreement with the UAE. Sometimes last year, some month ago, Nigeria should sign a bilateral agreement with UAE and Qatar, but they were able to sign the one for Qatar, but for UAE it was old. It was hold. So, and because they said there's some clauses there that they need to fix, I wonder how many weeks, how many months it takes to fix clauses in a bilateral agreement. And even when your citizens are suffering, are losing their jobs in that country. So when we made this issue when we asked the ambassador about this, it was surprising that he doesn't even know about this. In Nigeria, every sector you get to Nigeria, you find out that there's one incompetent person that is leading that sector. And a very good example of that is the oil crisis we have in Nigeria now. And I haven't known that the president, Muhammadu Buhari, is the Minister of Petroleum for all the time he has been in power. He has been Minister of Petroleum. For what? For what? Somebody say, Mr. Tosin, as we speak, my friend is very sick, he's vomiting blood. He can't even get treatment. I fear for him, I swear. Your friend should go to Mr. Edison Benson. Your friend that is vomiting blood should not stay in his bed and die there. He should go to the embassy or to the consulate. The reason the embassy and the consulate is there is to cater for Nigerians here, not only for them to enjoy the phenomena of being in power and to collect salary. It's to cater for Nigerians here. So if your friend cannot get treatment, you should go to them. Nigerian citizens should have the boldness to hold our government accountable. See, European country, we admire some people fought for what others are enjoying now. Go to the embassy, go to the consulate. They will take care of you. They will help you. They have some money that is set aside for that, miscellaneous. Go to them. Why should you die in your bed if you don't have? Some people say they don't have where to stay. They are sleeping outside. Why should they sleep outside? Go to the embassy. Go and sleep outside there. In closing, the 14 days ultimatum finish on the 7th of this month, and everyone that is watching now will be needing you to participate in the exercise to remove the consular and the ambassador of Nigerians to UAE. They have challenged us, all of you Nigerians that are losing your job, all of you Nigerians in UAE that are facing hard time. The consular and the ambassador, they have challenged you that you cannot remove them. It is now up to you to take steps if you can remove them or no. When the time comes, we'll be stating out activities we will do collectively to remove them. We want to let them know that we are different to Nigerians that are back home, that the politicians will not be responsible to their responsibility and they will still be in office. We want to let them know that we are Nigerians with conscience that have been outside the country, and we know how things works in other countries, and we know that things can work well even in Nigeria.
Tosin, do you think the ambassador or the consular, do you think they have power more than those in Nigeria? Or do you actually think that the people in the Ministry of Foreign Affairs in Nigeria are not aware of what that is happening, since it has been in media all the while? So the reason I'm saying this is that actually removing these people in Abu Dhabi or in the UAE generally, who are representatives of the government, may not actually solve the problem. And the reason is that what is happening now, I'm sure the government is aware, at least the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Abike Dabiri and co. They are aware. Okay? So it's not as if that these people, okay, let's assume that, okay, whatever it is, document to submit to them, they are not sending it back home to Nigeria to the appropriate quarters. What about the ones that have been in the news? Have they not seen it? This issue have been on several media outlets,
I
and people have
understand you.
discussed the real issues. So removing, and you are not going to, at worst, maybe you write a petition. Where will the petition go to? The petition will go to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. All right?
I understand you. I understand you. Now, you said we are in the news, and the Ministry of Foreign Affairs can see the news, and they can see the news. I was on China's news lamenting some months ago. Now, if their principals in Nigeria, if they see this news, they will not call me. Even if my phone number is on my show, we have a daily show. This is my cup of tea. We have a daily show that our phone numbers are there. They will not call me to ask me the situation of things here. They will call their representatives here, which is the ambassador and the consular. So if the ambassador and the consular do not even know the situation of things here, and they are trying to deny the fact that Nigerians are having work permit issue, what do you think the report they are giving back to their principals?
Okay, Justin, let me pause you here. The reality is there's a difference between what somebody knows and what somebody claims to know. So the fact that you saw the two ministers on China TV and claim ignorance may not necessarily be the case.
Apart from seeing them,
hold on. Okay. Go ahead.
Apart from seeing them on TV, we are in direct communication with them. Apart from seeing them on TV, we are in direct communication with them, and we know that this situation is not well reported to them. Documents that what does it take?
Have you now properly reported it to them?
Yes.
So if you have, hold this. If you have reached out to them, if you have passed the ambassador and the consular to report to them, and they still go to the public to claim ignorance, so what are we now talking about here?
No. A minute, sir. When we bypass them to get contact with them and all that, now and they are just like, okay, see, they are not reporting to their principals like they should, and for this reason, they don't want to be in that office. They are not reporting to their principals. They are not. There's some uh, there's some things I cannot go into, but they are not reporting to their principals like they should do. Imagine the first time we met with them was on October. Some other group have been meeting with them since July. Now, what they are saying since then is still what they are saying till now, except if all this issue, has a political undertone. Some people have speculated that some time ago, some terrorists, some Nigerian were on the list of terrorists in UAE, and that Nigerian government want them repatriated to Nigeria and all that. Except if this issue have some undertone that we don't know about. But if it is just, I've just mentioned that bilateral agreement was not signed, and they are not aware of that. Do they want being in that office if they don't even know about bilateral agreement between two countries? So the problem will not persist.
Let's be a little bit realistic, okay? See, I understand what is going on a little bit, and those people whom you think are not giving feedback cannot tell you that we are not giving feedback, okay? And they cannot come to TV and say, oh, we have never heard about, and say all that they have heard, including the people that you are in touch with. Do you understand? See, I believe that there is a level of politics that is happening between the two countries. And what I have also observed is that countries that have a lot of population, a lot of citizens in the UAE that are working, they have some form of bilateral agreement. Like countries like India, something like Philippines, okay? They have reached agreement with those companies, those countries, which is like, okay, there are agreement or understanding that, okay, we'll be supplying you labor, okay? And that's the other day when I was traveling from India to Abu Dhabi, I saw that some of the questions that the immigration officer was asking was that what country are you going? She was asking a lady like that, and she was asking how much is your salary? I could overhear that. Overheard that. So, which means there is an understanding. There's some form of feedback. There's some form of thought. Yeah, how do I put it now? That is, there's a feedback. There's a feedback channel between the government that, okay, your citizens are working in my country, and I know that they are remitting back home. You understand? And in that way, some things are documented. We just carry our bag. In Nigeria, no, we don't send Nigeria about where we go now. You understand? So as a result of that, look at this issue of I know that this war maybe has been blown, and all the major news medias have been talking about it and all of those things. But look at how swiftly they quickly awarded money to go and repatriate Nigerians in Ukraine. See, the idea is because, what probably is happening is at the level of maybe politics, that is beyond us. That these people will not come to TV and say. When you go to their office, they cannot say it to you. That is what I am thinking.
So are we going to remain like this? Are you saying that we are going to remain like this? If this issue persists for 8 months, are we going to remain like this? Are we not going to do anything? Is this how people will be dying?
No, if we are going to do something, then we should look at something.
So what you will do? Go to remove Buhari or remove the people here? Which one of them?
I don't see.
Okay, if they don't even know that bilateral agreement is not reached, if they don't even know, these are people we are meeting with one-on-one, not that we are hearing them from TV, the consular and the ambassador. If we are meeting with them and they don't even know about bilateral agreement, so what you will do? Still,
they don't. If they don't have such bilateral agreement, the UAE is not obligatory.
The more you try to talk down that what can we do, and it's a tall order, the more these people are having a field day. The more they keep having a field day.
So
why are we not going to hold them accountable to the office? They stay there and they are not doing anything. Do you know? A minute, sir. We gave them the option that Nigerians are beginning to sleep outside now. Can we take you to them to see them? They refuse.
What are
Okay,
they doing here? Are they here for themselves or they are here for the Nigerians that are in UAE?
they are not necessarily there
For
for the
Nigerians in
individual
UAE.
Nigerians. They represent Nigerian bilateral agreement that, okay,
What
based
if
on
they don't even
all
know
the
the
businesses that
bilateral agreement
Nigeria
you're talking
does
about? They don't
in
even
all
know
these
about that
countries.
agreement. They
There
don't
are
even know about
places,
that
see,
agreement.
wait, Itosin, there are places where Nigeria embassy is that there are no people, Nigerians who are working in there, like there are Nigerians working in the UAE. And I'm not defending them, okay? And you should know that I'm not
No, you
defending
are
them.
speaking in
Yeah.
defense of them. You are speaking in
No,
defense of them.
no, I am
You are
not
speaking in
defending
defense
them.
of them.
I am
Hello, hold
saying,
on, guys. Hold
let
on,
us be
guys.
realistic. Let us
It's
be
not being
realistic.
realistic. It's what we can do. They know that. You are the one that you don't know that. They know that. We have written petition against the consular before, and she start paying people to write, to stand up and write, to make publication in Nigerian dailies and pass a vote of confidence on that. This is what we have done before. They know that. Are we
Tosin,
going to allow them? Are we going to just to sit down and continue? People, you see comments, right? Will that just continue? Why is
Tosin,
nobody doing
hold on.
something?
Why not try and listen to others? What we are saying is not that we we are being your support and will continue to be. But what we are saying is like what I admit in the public and what I actually that I know or don't know, and what I actually know or don't know, they may not actually be the same. We say, I will tell you for free that when we say diplomacy, to me, diplomacy is the language of deceit. And when a minister is being interviewed on the national TV, and if he now say, oh, yes, I'm aware that Nigerians are going through this for the past 8 months, what do you think will happen to that minister? Immediately after that, we get a signal that you come to us. So, you know that Nigerians are paying for 8 months, and you will not do anything about it. Or if he has done something about it, and maybe the area authority are not responding, you want him to say, oh, yes, I've done my own bit. It's just like it's my principal that is not responding. You want him to say that on the national TV. No. See, there are
You want Oshibajo to say, I have spoken to Baba, or is Baba that is not listening to me?
Of course, they will not say all that. We understand all this. What we are doing is to push.
Hold on now. Hold on. So what we are saying is like, yes, even if you remove those two by your petition tomorrow, and they are going to bring a new saint, newly minted in heaven, to become the ambassador or consular general. If they bring new people now, what will happen is this: the new people will speak to you, will placate you, but they will ask you to allow him to or her to study the situation. Then they will get back to you. You will prolong the day, the matter further. So this is a realistic thing. You are doing your advocacy. You are doing a good job. And remember, this is like a cartel. Government institutions like a cartel. So they don't expose themselves in the public because that is the rule of the game. So, and you know, I mean, most of these have addressed most of my writings. You know how this thing runs. You are doing your good job of advocacy. But when you are doing that, also, like I said in previous time, understand those who are your stakeholders, those who share this thing with you, who bear this burden with you. We have always given this platform. For the past few months, everything we discussed, we have always created this few minutes for you to give us update. So which means we are concerned about what is happening. But when you have shared your opinion, when we also are trying to tell you something, try to cool down or calm down and listen to us. We have your interests at heart, but also because you are in the midst, you are in the fire, so to say, in the front of the fire. There are things that you may not see clearer than those of us who are your friends who will see. And when we are talking to you, you should understand that we are your friends, and we share this. We bear your pain. You we
Mhm.
are not involved with that pain, so you don't have to neglect this. It's very important. We know what you are doing, but we also know when you are thinking you are bearing off, you are becoming a little unrealistic. It's our responsibility to pause your
It's
thing.
not
Don't
being unrealistic, sir. It's not being unrealistic. Uh, we understand that they will not come to the public to talk everything that is happening within them. We understand all this, but what we are committed to do is to push for solutions to come. That is what we are committed to do, to push for solutions to come. And in that regard, if we start collecting, if we start making moves to remove them, they will be on their toes too to make something happen. If they have been calling once in a week or twice in a week to their principals in Nigeria, then they start calling more. It's just for
okay.
everybody that is sitting now to be on their toe, and that is holding government accountable. We were not going to do that. How do we hold them accountable? How do we hold them
Okay.
accountable? If we have been pushing for
That's a
since 8
question to
months,
you.
if we
Tosin,
are,
see
then
what I
that
am
is
saying.
what we are want to do. And you say it's a tall order. It's not a tall order. It is
Wait,
not
Uh,
wait, let me
not being
wait.
realistic.
okay.
Tosin,
Yeah.
see, I have been impacted and
Just
I told
wish
you
us,
now.
just wish us well in our task.
Yeah, I
It's not,
know.
All
it's
right.
not being
Tosin, yeah.
unrealistic. It's not being
Okay, Tosin,
unrealistic.
here is the thing. Here is the thing, Tosin. Whatever you believe is the solution to the problem, we support you. Go ahead. And we are
Thank you very
sincere.
much, sir.
We are sincerely in your support. We are not like when you know, we are genuinely in your support. But
That is what we want to hear, sir. It's not that it's not realistic.
having said that, because we have your interests at heart, once in a while, pause and listen to us too. Thank you.
I believe it is my responsibility to ask him difficult questions. Because difficult questions, what it would do to you is to make you think. I am not being critical of you or your plan. I am only critiquing it, which is supposed to enable you to sit aback and rethink about it. See, I've been a victim of it, and I told you, 3 of my classmates have been selected for the job in Abu Dhabi. But I was told at the before interview that because I'm a Nigerian, I cannot be and since they cannot make a visa for Nigerians, I cannot be included. There was news, serious news in my class a few days ago that 3 of them have been selected. So I am a victim of this too. But at the same time, I don't want you to go all out, not being sure of what you're doing. That's why I was trying to poke you to allow you to critically analyze the step that you're taking. This problem, I'm sure, I am certain, all right, even though we may not have all the truth, but I'm certain it's beyond the embassy, it's perhaps even beyond the ministry. Okay? See, we,
Boys,
we
their
had
response.
we I mean, this
Boys.
this issue, I even heard that has been discussed in the National Assembly, right?
Mhm.
So if it has been discussed in the National Assembly, and some people still come to TV and say, "Oh, we are not aware of it," you don't think
No,
it's
they
because
didn't say they are not aware. They didn't say they are not aware. They discussed the issue, but they are not discussing the main thing that is happening. They are discussing the issue in the tone their representatives here are discussing the issue with us.
Okay,
it,
gentlemen, let us move the other discussion to the back end. So,
okay.
having said that, I will also empathize with Tosin because he is directly encumbered, by the enormity of the problem. So, it is our responsibility to be his backup brain, because the more you are encumbered by something, the more the less you are able to think through certain things. We have to understand that. So, I understand your position, Tosin, and we are together with this. So every other thing,
Thank
that's
you,
what
sir.
we talk at the back end.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
All right. Thank you, Tosin. Thank you, the village boy. Thank you for everybody that has participated. We appreciate your staying with us. It's almost it's 1 hour 50 minutes now. So we've discussed a lot of things. How the Ukraine war uh, affect Nigerians, affect Africans. Uh, that's the major issue we've discussed earlier. We look at how it has impacted Nigerians. We don't know what happens to those who were students in Ukraine, but now they are back in Nigeria. We don't know what's going to happen to them. We don't understand, because I keep thinking, what will be there. Some people have been there perhaps 3 years, 2 years. Dr. Sunday has been there for 35 years now. I don't even know. Maybe they've destroyed his property, or even if this war ceased today now, uh, I don't know what it will take, how many years it will take those people to rebuild. So, and then we've concluded with the issue of work permit in the UAE. So we want to thank all those who participated, either by comment, by sharing, and by watching, and our guests. Thank you very much. It's opinion sharers. If you want to participate in the discussions, please do reach out to us. You can reach out to us through our email or phone number that's on the page. Opinion sharers, Facebook, Instagram, and you can also check out our website. It's www.opinionsharers.com. Opinionsharers.com. Thank you very much. We will be here again next week, Saturday, most likely. So thank you very much. Please do take care of yourself. And for our brethren who are in the UAE, our prayers, our loves, our army are with you. We'll continue to support you. We'll continue to engage the authority and engage with you as well. And for that brother who is said to be sick, if you can go to the embassy, please go to the embassy. And if you can go to Nigeria, maybe you should go to Nigeria too, because I don't think it is it's a difficult situation, really. It's a difficult, very, very difficult situation. Perhaps only those people who have been directly impacted will understand it. So please do take care of yourself. Thank you very much. And good night from here.
Good night.